Welcome back, everyone. I'm Captain Foley.
And I am Commander Cockins. Welcome, everyone, to a brand new Trekyards original.
That's right. And because it's a Trekyards Originals, today we bring you a new fan-created design to add to the diverse world of Star Trek.
That's right, and today we have one of our favourite regulars to our channel, our lives especially, joining us for this new original design. Please welcome Olivia Julius to the show.
Hello, everyone. Captain, Commander, a pleasure to be here. My name is Olivia, and I'm a truck driver.
And a ship designer, obviously. It's a pleasure to have you join us today, Olivia. So without any further delay, let's get into the topic of today's discussion, Olivia's Class A transport, or CAT for short.
The Class A transport was the first of many long-haul transport carriers known as CMVs, or Cargo Management Vehicles, that are produced by Frontier Space Systems Incorporated, located at Toledo, Earth production facilities from 2104 to 2176.
Our expansion of human resources and endeavors was coming the norm by the year 2100, and the development extraction of new facilities located within the inner solar system.
Yep.
So a method of reliable and fast transport was needed to ferry goods and materials to and from various outposts and stations, which have been established at a variety of locations.
Some of those ports included Armstrong Base, located on the lunar surface, and the Martian space station Ares, as well as newly envisioned Earth space dock in orbit of Earth. Construction had also begun on the Venus station and Mercury science outpost as well. With these inner solar system assets in place, there was a great need for safe and reliable cargo delivery systems, and as a result, the Class A transport was at the forefront of early Earth expansion.
So you're saying they needed Space Amazon really badly?
Yes.
Well, there are a number of independently operated fleets of these ships. The largest of these were the OJ Express fleet, which consisted of around 40 vehicles. The Cat hauler or rig was 8.2 meters tall, 12.8 meters long, and 10.4 meters wide. The actual cargo modules early on were rather standard size of 31 meters in length and could accommodate a wide variety of materials. The modules were reconfigurable internally and could be changed as needed.
While only being able to carry 2 cargo units at a time, any more than 2 could result in instability and could cause severe issues. Later models such as the Class B could accommodate more and even eventually had more varied and specialized cargo modules, which were mission specific.
With a speed of around 5,334 kilometers an hour, a trip from Earth to the Moon took just 2 days.
Well, I like you say a speed of around. That's so precise, Stuart. There's no around there.
It varied from a couple kilometers here and there.
Okay.
The newly designed 4th generation ion engine was the propulsion used while in space. However, the vessels were equipped with liquid fuel engines for planetary ascent and descent used for emergencies or just when regular maintenance and servicing was required. The ships did spend the majority of their time, however, in space.
The Class A Transport Cat is designed to provide comfort and reliability to its operators. The ship had 0 weapons, but did sport the latest in communications tech for the time. A long-range communication dish was located at the very front of the vehicle and could easily and in real time transmit messages and current position information to the destination.
The ship was built for a crew of 2 and could be ran with 1 crew member at the controls as the other one sleeps in the sleeper berth. The berth does house a computer with autopilot capabilities and secondary backup controls in case of emergency, however.
Inside the Cat, there were 3 decks. Deck 1 housed 4 small sleeping quarters, 1 for each crewman. Deck 2 was the cockpit, kitchen, and small seating area, including a small recreation area and a bathroom. Deck 3 was engineering and small internal cargo area.
The main control board in the cockpit utilized all tactile switches and controls, with very few touchscreen interfaces at all. This assured that jury rigging in the event of an emergency could be accomplished much more easily.
Each deck was accessible by ladders, which in an emergency situation would close off with an airlock seal to block any damaged compartments. The Cat used standard anti-gravity plating, but most crew members kept the ship at moon normal gravity to increase productivity and comfort, as well as reduce power usage. Although trips beyond the asteroid belt could be done, they were not recommended early in the vehicle's service history. But with ever-growing expansion, These trips became more routine over the years as upgrades and changes were made to the design to accommodate longer and more dangerous trips.
For these long-haul journeys, the regular two-person crew was bumped up to 4, and a new two-person shift rotation was implemented. The CAT uniforms were designed after old-time mechanics jumpsuits, which provided both comfort and were very utilitarian, having many pockets, unlike every Starfleet uniform ever except for Enterprise.
Well, do you think this was the inspiration for the Enterprise jumpsuit? Because this was
I would
predating
imagine
it.
so. It's the same. Yeah. It's kind of the lead up to it. So yeah. On the left chest is the crew member's name tag, and on the right is the logo of the company that the crew worked for.
Cargo container pickup was done from specific geosynchronous dockyards located at various locations around the globe or lunar surface. While coupled to a cargo module, the ship's main coupling mechanisms on each side of the ship would clamp onto the cargo container and provide power to the cargo container along with the ability to control the container's maneuvering thrusters.
There was also a secondary coupling system in the back of the main body of the ships. This is connected to the cargo containers in case the main coupling system fails.
The cargo containers were simple designs. The outer hull of the container was constructed out of very durable steel. A metal frame was built around the cargo container to protect it from debris or accidental damage. Inside, the layout was very modular and mission-specific. Most containers had 2 decks, with the upper deck for general cargo or dry goods supply, and the lower deck for refrigerated supplies or cryostasis of perishable or biological samples.
Generally, cargo, when delivered, would be left in a geosynchronous orbit, while at the dockyard, the containers could be moved remotely by the yard master or shuttled around using small one-person work bees and placed at a loading dock or positioned in a row of other containers as a way for another ship to either carry it to its final destination or deliver it to the unloading dock.
However, in some instances, the cargo modules will be backed into position at certain facilities and anchored to a specialized receiving door. Once docked into the station's outer clamps would grab a hold of the container's doors and open the container. Think the inspection pods of the motion picture. There was no life support in the containers, however. It was nearly impossible to get into without being at a shipyard or by using specially made tools by executing a EVA of the main ship's body.
The only part of the ship that could actually land on the planet's surface was the CAT itself, while using its liquid-fueled engines on the bottom of the vessel. The CMV would land at designated landing sites where it could be serviced and the crew could have a few days off.
But in the case of an emergency situation, if a CMV starts to enter a planet's atmosphere, the cargo container could be quickly ejected, but at extreme risk. Emergency parachutes were on board for both the crew and for the main body of the craft if things went really, really wrong.
These ships paved the way for Earth to secure itself as a major player on the galactic scene, delivering the supplies and materials necessary to expand from our once rather limited worldview.
These ships carried the parts needed to establish the precursor to what would eventually become Utopia Planitia and Terra Nova Base, and even the new Berlin moon colony of 2069. So their place in galactic history must not be understated or ignored.
Even though the original service life was estimated only 15 years with regular maintenance, they were well constructed and lasted many years longer than that, with both minor and major upgrades and overhauls. At least 3 survived well into the NX era of Starfleet exploration.
Cargo modules, as mentioned earlier, were also retrofitted and upgraded, and even all new ones were designed and constructed over the years, which vastly improved the ship's usefulness over the decades, even drastically increasing the ship's range.
In later years, however, many of the old cargo containers were soft-landed on planets and colony worlds for storage or housing purposes. Their reconfigurable nature was very useful in many of these instances, and if you're lucky enough, you may still see some on distant colony worlds in the TNG era.
It's that scene in TNG where they just show a planet and they just cut 1 second too soon because they were just about to fly by camera. It's the luck, isn't it? But these ships started the naming convention for cargo haulers, which over many years and different iterations eventually resulted in the very popular Class J transports that were seen in the NX era. And now it's this time of the show where we get to ask the designer about their design and get the real behind-the-scenes scoop on this cargo hauler.
So, Olivia, we know you're a truck driver, and this sounds very much like a truck rig and like trailer system.
And
So
looks
tell
like
us-
it too.
Yeah.
See visuals.
tell us a little bit about the design process, like when this started and what gave you the idea.
So what got me started with the idea of this ship was watching Ensign Mayweather and his family live on the J-class freighter. Being a truck driver, I'm always alone. I'm always on the road away from my families, and I can kind of sympathize with the fact that they're gone for very long times and they never get to see Earth that often. So basically, I just kept thinking, what happens if I'm in space and I was by myself having to go for all these, distant roads. And that's when it kind of started going from there. What would the next step of truck driving be?
Well, the great thing is, too, that we get a lot of people for Trekyards Originals that bring us, like, carriers and
carriers and carriers and a Defiant carrier, which they're all great.
Super battleships. And so this was a really nice change of pace, because it's like, this is what supplies the Federation with the supplies they need to build the
pre-Federation
outposts and station. Exactly.
What I liked about the Firefly class is that it's very small. It's not the hero ship. It's a ship that you wouldn't even look at for being a hero ship, and somehow it is.
Yeah. No, it's interesting to extrapolate. We get a lot of these very intricate vessels, and it's nice to go for a completely grounded one. And even so much, when we talked about this ages ago, Olivia, and I was, when you pitched it, I was like, okay, great, but what era? And I was expecting more futuristic, and you said, no, like all the way back. So it's even more grounded than NX, because it literally is just Earth in a couple of years doing those space trucking routes. I mean, it is as simple as can be. So for the show about Star Trek ships, it's almost not a Trek ship in a sense, but that's kind of the fun thing, because we managed to ground it so well in the Trek universe, and as Stuart's done with this brilliant script, it fits in as an integral part, because you don't ever think, yes, how the hell do they make Planitia to then build the fleets? These bad boys.
Yep.
So quite important.
So these are the real hero ships of Star Trek, is what you're saying.
My favorite ship is the NX class, and I always like the older looks of the NX class. How it's not everything's not touch screen. You see just normal displays. You don't see all these big huge displays out everywhere. That's what I like about Enterprise.
I really liked revisiting this era, and like an everyday ship, but it's so important. And I love that there were fleets of them, and then you can just picture like the geosynchronous loading docks in orbit with these containers sitting there waiting to go wherever they need to go. It's a really fantastic idea. So,
but you didn't include my Amazon joke though, Stuart, because I remember I pitched that thing about you can do different levels to different places. You didn't include that.
Oh, I completely forgot. Sorry.
Because remember, we were saying, how long is it to get to the moon? And I was joking, well, it should be quicker those days. So it could be 1 day with Amazon Prime, 2 days is normal, and 3 days is just economy. Because that's what it was in the 60s. So you didn't include it.
2 days, because it was 5,443 kilometers an hour or something specific.
Now, what I do like about this ship is there is also no transporters on the ship anymore. Mm-hmm. This is way before transporters were invented.
Yeah. And then the addition you made after I did the script, Olivia, of like maybe these cargo containers could be used for other things later, and modular cargo or remote colony kind of, because they're reconfigurable as a cargo container. It would work perfectly for that. So I love a little addition at the end that you maybe see some in the TNG era.
Well, it's almost a work bee in the sense it's that utilitarian craft that obviously we see even TMP work bee hauling things. And that's how much it advanced down to, all you have to have is this little body. This is also a bit more functional, but those ideas keep cropping up all throughout the Trek, so it makes a lot of sense. But I want to ask though, Olivia, why go for the, obviously I know you work with Barry Chapman, who, again, yay Barry and other originals, that's your show, man, all of us together with Barry. But how was that design process like, and actually going from I haven't seen original concept, but it didn't end up exactly like the concept, it had a bit more of maybe a NASA feel. I'm talking about the actual design bit of the look, per se.
I do want to thank Barry for helping me out with that. The basic idea is to merge a space shuttle with a semi-truck.
Because at the end, after you've done a Trekyards Originals, you usually have something a little bit more refined, even history-wise and how it fits in the universe.
That's the Stuart bit.
Yeah, well, it's a collaboration bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the 3D model version as well. So, I mean, it starts out as something in your mind's eye. You give it to us. We kind of help you craft it, and then it's just something new at the end. So it's a fun process doing these Trekyards originals, is what I'm trying to say.
How many fans have this? I think we feel lucky offering this service to people. I mean, did you ever think that this concept would actually be... And obviously, you will see this episode in the future, Olivia, with the 3D renders, which will be a whole different experience, and you can imagine how that might look. I mean, how surreal will that be to see it actually now come to life and motion?
I can't wait to see it fly. I mean, I can't wait to see it fly next to the Enterprise J. I mean, that has to be just...
Anyway, I just want to say thank you, Olivia, for not only supporting the channel and coming to the lives all the time and doing super chats, which is great, but for chipping in and getting a Trekyards original and to get to work with us was really fun. And just for the simplicity of the design, a cargo ship in those early days, that's just awesome. It just takes us away from what we do on a regular basis. So thank you.
Well, like I said, it's so logical, and through the scripting process, I mean, would anyone not buy this as a pre-Federation ship? I certainly would.
I think everyone would. I mean, we saw the cargo modules of the Botany Bay in Star Trek 2, so we know kind of what cargo modules look like. So you include that, it all works, it all fits.
From those darn 90s and their space travel. Important time in space travel. The 90s.
Anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Again, thank you, Olivia, for bringing this to us, and hope you enjoyed the final results and working with us. Was it fun working with us?
Yep, that was really fun. I just can't wait for my next project.
Sounded so unconvincing. And there's a lot of bloopers for this.
Fun.
There's a lot of bloopers while we film this, which you're probably never going to see.
Yeah, hopefully never see.
But yes, you will see Olivia again, though, because she has many projects, and they're going to vary drastically, I feel like. That's all I'll say. So look forward to that.
Hashtag Picard Fertilizer. Anyway, guys, this is Captain Foley.
Commander Coggins.
Olivia Julius.
Signing off for now. We will see you next time. Thank you for watching Trekyards Originals. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.